Hey folks, JD here, and today this is a two-part video. So the beginning part is us taking the Pro Orbit out for a flight, and then the second part is the unboxing. You'll find all the timings in the description. Okay, so now we've got the Orbit, so let's bring all this down, let's lock these arms in place. There we go, we got the battery all locked inside there. Let's see how much ground clearance you have on your, well, that literally takes up nearly all of your mat. You don't have a lot of ground clearance, see, from what I was saying in the first part of the video. But as long as you're on a mat, then you should be okay. So what we're going to do, turn on transmitter first, turn on the quadcopter, push and hold. Then, yeah, LEDs are on. Let's turn this around the other way. Let's alter this camera a little bit so it's facing upwards slightly. Okay, now we've done that. Single one up and one down to bind should lock it. Now let's get this app sorted. So let's see if we've got Wi-Fi. Should be the only broadcasting network out here, he says. Actually, unless I've got my access point in my bag. No, it's there. Wi-Fi, GPS, 1080p. Perfect. Come on, lock on. There we go, perfect. Now we can open up the app, which I believe, if memory serves, it's been a couple of days since I downloaded this. LWFPV. Start. It would like access your location. Yes, I need that. That's fine. Yeah, that's the app. So perfect. Now let's lock it in place in this very strange, I do find this very odd, as I said in the unboxing, which is that both of these sides of the FPV boom underneath, they're not joined in any way. So if you pull the right side down, the left side still stays up. You have to pull them both down at the same time, which is quite a bit of an annoyance. Oh, and it means putting your phone in here can be a bit of a tricky situation. Come on. As you can see, I had it the first time, but then the phone went to turn itself off. There we go. Right. Start again. There we go. Right then. So we've got that. Now then, click and hold the return to home. 2 beeps. Should be in calibration mode. Yes, it is. Green and red flashing. So with that, let's turn this 3 times. 1, 2, 3. And that should be done. And then with the quadcopter facing down, so the camera facing down, turn it again 3 times. 1, 2, 3. And now all the LEDs should go back to being how they were before we took off. So it should be solid green and flashing red, from what I can make out on the manual. I might be wrong, but we'll soon find out. Let's get some screen recording action on the go there. You know me, I like to have as raw as I possibly can, as well as screen recording there. Now, as for video, I have got an SD card that I've put inside the SD card writer there. So let's see, and we have got, you know what, I'm really quite shocked at the minute at just exactly how, well, or it looks like, just how good this video looks. Okay, obviously the pixels are all stretched down, so it may look really terrible, but to begin with, I think it looks really good. Right, okay, so with that, unlock, yes, and now hopefully we can be able to take him off. So before we do, let's just look at gyro calibration. No. Okay, maybe there's still something wrong with that last lock. Let's turn it a couple of more times and let's see whether we get the back to stop flashing. Maybe the calibration is correct. There's not really a lot it's telling me. So if I look at the app again, okay, so the calibration lights haven't changed. As for satellites, we've got 9 satellites, so it's more than what we should have as what is recommended. Let me see, down and to the left, down and to the right. Let's see if we can auto take off. No, something's telling me that calibration is not 100% correct. Okay, let me revisit that. So we have more than enough satellites on there. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to calibrate it again. So click and hold, 2 beeps, and I'm going to calibrate it again and see how we go. So at this point, all LEDs are flashing, front and back. So then let's calibrate that. Actually, it's anti-clockwise, isn't it? So let's calibrate that for 3 revolutions, at least 50 centimeters away from the ground. the back ones have locked. Now if I turn it down with the camera facing down, and if I twist it again for 3 anti-clockwise revolutions, it should. Now the front ones have locked and the back ones are flashing. So let me try this again and see exactly how far I get with this. Maybe. Well, we've still got the same LED lights, green at the front, red at the back. So let's see how far we've got with that. So can I unlock? Unlock it? Yes. Now I'm guessing the motor should spin up from there, and then you should be able to click one key take off and it takes off. Okay. As we've unlocked it, push both analog sticks into the middle, and then we should be okay. So let's take her up. We've got blinding sun today, so I'm going to stand over here a little bit. So we're on 14 satellites, it's locked in place. That seems to be okay. It seems to be working. Okay, let's get some video on the go. Right. Oh, that felt a little bit strange. As I went to pull off, it literally, instead of it just gradually taking off maybe in a nice smooth motion, it was quite hard. Wow. This orientation is really strange. Let's take her up a little bit. Wow, okay. Can I bring her back to me? This is very, very strange. Very, very, very strange. Now, to all intents and purposes, you would think I've got headless mode on. Speed mode 2. Whoa, okay. So automatically, yeah, it is running headless mode by the look of it. So let's try return to home. So click once, automatically returns the quadcopter to home. So let's see exactly how good this GPS bearing is. So I'm gonna have to move my bag again, aren't I? Maybe. Let's see which way it comes down. This is quite strange to get on with. It's taking its time, and then down it drops. And then it moves a bit. And then it's taking its time. It is dropping. Okay, so that's landed. And it's landed, that's where I took off from, that's where it landed. So it's pretty good. But the thing that's confusing me the most is that it's saying, well, at least when I'm trying to fly it, it's flying like as if headless mode is on. Okay, let's get that back up in the air. So just in case I have got headless mode on, let's click this once. In case I did click it when I was calibrating it. So let's turn on the motors. Let's take off. Okay, now let's just try a quick test. Forward, spin it round, back to me. Yeah, that's right. I did have it on headless mode to begin with, and now the back red LEDs have stopped flashing. So that is a word of warning. If the back LEDs are flashing, the red ones, then you have headless mode on. Click it once to turn on, LEDs flash. Click it second to turn off, LEDs are solid. Right, now we can properly test this thing. Okay. Looks very strange. Inverted flyer. I like my inverted flyers. It stands out quite easily against the competition. So rather than pulling the airflow, it's pushing away from. Oh, so we're in speed mode 3 for the second, and I don't know whether it's down to its shape or what, but it's taking quite a while to get away from anywhere. Yaw and roll gives you a nice turning circle, but it's not fighting, it's not good against the breeze. And again, that's the difference between brushed and brushless motors for something like this. And we've got brushed motors in here. She should be okay. She's doing a damn good job, but it's noticeable that because the motors are brushed, it's taking her a little while to actually get going when you change your orientation, and then she's going, you know, because she's got that wind fighting against her. She seems to be okay now. Wind has died down slightly. The wind that we've got here today, just to let everybody know, we've got a 5 mile an hour breeze, gusting of up to 6. So it's not terrible. One thing I have noticed is now, there we are, back into speed mode 1. The battery is down to 37%. And now we are recording video. We are there we are, trying to fight against that breeze in speed mode 1. And then if you flick around, she should accelerate like at a rate of knots. Sort of. There we go. Into speed mode 2. Down to 39% battery. So this is what we see. I like this app. I think it's the same app as the SJRC, quite simply because it does turn around and it does tell you about if you're not using as much power, it'll increase the battery left. If you're using more, it'll decrease. Right, let's try orbit mode. Long click on the right button there, and then it does an orbit. Sorry, I was just trying to get away from the quadcopter. And then I don't know if it's going to turn it again. It did turn it once. I mean, I've still got full control during this. I don't have any yaw whatsoever, and it's very slowly turning itself around. So it's trying to get you, as I can see from the FPV here, it's trying to get you a full circle of where you are. It's orbiting around a central point. So if I stand here, then you should see that the quadcopter is moving, not because of me. If I just hold that away from the light there, and now we should see the quadcopter is moving. Yeah, it's moving quite successfully in an orbit, nice and slowly. Because of this wind, it's not very stabilized. I'm seeing that rock quite a bit. As I'm there, I'm going to take a couple of photos, a couple of snaps. See, it is orbiting very slowly. I have got no yaw, but I do have control over how fast it orbits. So if I hold down right roll, then I will see that just rotate around me very, very fast. And then likewise, if I let go, it'll then keep on its course trajectory at that particular speed. See, I'm not touching anything, and yet it's orbiting really quickly. And then if I bring her in to a left orbit instead, oh, that's low battery. Let's take her out of orbit. Oh, what's she doing? Is she returning to home? It's low battery warning, she's returning to home. Well, she's very well trained. To be fair, that's pretty good. And we saw how close she was. She was about a foot away, if that, from the pad last time. So let's see exactly how close she gets now. See, she is wobbling a lot. She's not liking that breeze at all. But then I've seen inverted flyers that do the same. Come on. You're not returning. You are returning. It doesn't say at the top that she is returning, so let's click and return her. Oh, okay, once I click the return, then now she's dropping. She seems to be having a good fight on her hands there, where she doesn't really know what to do. She's dropped down a little way, but I would say she's, oh, there we go. She's just taken a long time to think about it. And this time she is ages. Look at that, she's a good 4 or 5 foot. I'll measure it in a minute. But we've had 7 minutes and 33 seconds of flight there. Let's stop all the different recording mediums. And let's turn off that very annoying beep. Let's turn off this quadcopter. I'm not going to move it. I am going to measure though, very crudely albeit. So 1, 2, 3, 4 and a half. 4.5 foot away from where she took off. Which is not the worst I've seen, but still, it's certainly not the best either. But still, in saying that, it came back, it had full control, and albeit quite a way away, it landed. But it did take its time. It really took its time. Another thing as well, this lens moves. Now, I did move it, and I did lock it in place to sort of that angle, maybe the 30 degrees. But then when as you just saw it, it was down more at that angle when it came down to land. Now maybe the grass, well, I don't know, if the grass pushed it, I'd expect it to be up. Maybe the vibrations made her move. But still, orbit mode, that is by far, I think, the best mode on here. Locks its trajectory so you can right and left roll, so you can take her around as fast as you want in either right or left direction. But she will lock on a central point. Now, I put myself in a central point, but quite literally she has a diameter that she goes around, and that's it. GPS lock was okay. It's not the best I've ever seen. It's quite weak, in fact. But it, still GPS locked. It didn't run away. Headless mode's what I had on to begin with, so you want to make sure you turn that off by clicking the right analog stick. The right shoulder button, that's it. Then you've got 3 speeds. Third speed mode is pretty good as usual. As with every quad with third speed mode, you see her dive down slightly, so just ensure that you're bringing her back up, you're increasing that throttle. Other than that, the second best point about this is that it packs into a package this small. I like that a lot. It's very easy to carry, you don't notice the weight. Now as for the motors when they came down, they're still cold, not warm at all. Battery is not warm, but then we have got quite a breeze here today. Oh, the battery's a little bit warm. Yeah, not terribly, but there we go. But to be fair, I think I'll go to revisit this a few times just to see what else we can do with it and see exactly how far we can get with it perhaps. The app was brilliant as well, really good, give you all the information under the sun. Other than that, my friends, it was really easy to calibrate, it was really easy to fly, but just be warned, because of these brushed motors, you are going to see it wobble about a bit. It is going to take a while to change course if you turn it around. But with brushless motors, this thing would be a demon, no doubt. But still, it's still good. But still, for the price you pay for it, I don't think you can go far wrong. I think this is on Drones Direct now for £39. GPS quad for £39. That in itself is pretty good. Transmitter, again, very basic, but did exactly what it said on the tin. Yeah, all in all, I'm going to be flying this again and seeing exactly how good that does. But yeah, to be fair, I thought it was pretty good.
And now that you've seen it fly, let's have a little look and see what comes in this full package. Right, so let's open this up. So this is the ProFly Orbit, as I said in the video there in the flight test. So this is what we have. So we have the manual to begin with, then we have the quadcopter. So we have the transmitter, we have the accessory bag here, quite nice, and then we have the fold-up quadcopter. Okay, let's put that there. Let me get rid of this box, and then let's have a little look and see what we have. So we've got the quad, we've got the battery, we've got the transmitter, we've got the accessory bag. So let's start here. So we have 4 spare propellers, we have a USB charger, we have a little screwdriver there as well. That looks like that's everything that's inside this package. Let's put that to one side. Transmitter. Transmitter looks really quite basic, but still, if it is basic, well, to be honest, basic is sometimes better. So we have auto takeoff, auto landing, we have return to home because this quadcopter is GPS. We have our antenna here as well. Oh, I hope these aren't fake. Yeah, they look as if they are. Well, they're coming off. And then we have our 2 buttons here as well for speed modes, and I'll have to double check on that one in a couple of minutes. Then we have our 2 push down buttons here on the analog sticks. We have our on and off button there, and we have our lanyard holder in the middle. Now this does feel quite nice. It feels quite thick, but it feels quite nice and boxy. You can get your hands on it properly. You can have a proper little flight with it, whether you fly with your fingertips or whether you fly with your thumbs. You can actually, feels really nice in both modes. And then at the bottom here we have, quite strangely, both independent as well. This is where your phone goes. So it is sprung. There we go. But it is quite strange because it is independent. I find that really quite odd. But still, as long as it does the job, that's great. And in the back here, open it up, we have 4 AA batteries that are needed. This particular transmitter does not allow USB charging of any sort, so please ensure the batteries inside here are fully charged or shop bought before you use them. That's quite nice. Okay, let's have a quick little look at everything else. So that's the transmitter. Our battery Really quite small, but still it'll do the job. It's a 7.4 volt, 1200 milliamp hour battery. It's not swollen in any way. There's your charging port, just in the bottom there, and then here's your connector then when you connect it into your quadcopter so you can actually get it to fly. It has a quick release catch one end, and the other side has a little dimple there, just it fits into the plastic properly. That's quite nice. That battery, by the way, should give you up to 12 minutes of flight. Let's hope we've had that in the video that you've just watched. And here's the quadcopter. Looks quite strange, looks quite like a kitchen utensil, but still, I think it's quite nice. So you just pull the sides down, and then when you pull the sides down, it makes your standard quadcopter shape, which looks a lot like that. So it is quite large actually. It feels quite nice as well. It's under, I think it feels like it's under 250 grams. And then when you put the battery in, the battery just slides into the top there like that. And then once that is in, that is what the full quadcopter looks like. So you have your battery on your side there, you have your camera here, which you can actually alter the lens position of as well, just under there, and you've got a little bit of plastic. So let's take that off because I'm going to need that off. Ooh, that's a little bit fiddly. Now it doesn't feel as if this particular, as if this lens is motorized. I think it is. I think it's not. So you just move it yourself. There's certainly no motor inside there, and it doesn't feel as if there is anyway. I don't know, it is seeming to move a little bit, so I'll have to double check that and see. There's also a little bit of plastic still left on the lens, so I'll have to get that off. There's the other side of it, and then we have the back of it there as well. So all in all, that looks as if it's going to be quite nice. It's quite large, as you can see. You have your brushed motors here with your little propellers underneath. It's an inverted flyer. I like that. You have a little bit of clearance here with your landing sprig. Not a lot, but enough just to stop this. If you're using a landing pad, which you will certainly need to with this, as you can see, the ground is here and you don't have a lot of clearance for the propeller, but you do have enough if you're using a landing pad. And then on the underside here as well, you have your LEDs. So let's see if I can turn this on. You have the on button at the top here. So let's see, have we got any power? Yes, there we go. So you've got green LEDs and red LEDs. So green on the front, red on the back. That's perfect. Let's click. Is it click and hold to turn off? Yes, there we go. And that should be enough. That should be okay. And then there's the underside there as well. You also have your Wi-Fi antenna sticking out the back here, just so you can have FPV relay back to your phone. So a couple of other things about this. You have 3 speed modes. Full distance of travel is 200 meters. It's foldable, it has GPS, and its flat out speed is 5 meters per second, which to be fair is pretty good. And then you just click up these arms then just to fold them back. There's a little click inside there, see a little switch. So you just click the switch up and then move it in. And then again with this one, and then again with that one there. Click. Come on. Oh, there we are. It helps if you put it the right way. And that's the quadcopter, all nicely folded. And it actually stands quite nicely. It is really quite small, really quite light as well. I like that. I think this is going to be quite good. Well, in fact, I hope it was, in fact, when you just saw the video. So that's the quad. What's annoying me are these buttons at the top here, knowing exactly what they do. So let's double check this in the manual. And as we're going through it, let's have a little look and see what else we have in the manual. So it shows you how to charge the manual, and how to charge the battery rather, and how to get ready for your flight. It has your controller diagram. So number 4 is headless mode and orbit mode. So orbit mode is when it goes on in circles. A couple of other things about this as well. No auto land, all that was correct. It's just number 4, which was headless mode, and which is a short press, and orbit mode, which is a long press. There we go. That's quite nice. Right then, as well as it goes through how to use your quadcopter, your drone diagrams, the binding of the transmitter and the quadcopter, as well as the GPS compass calibration. Now this is how you calibrate it. So you long press the GPS compass calibration button, and then the lights on the drone will flash, and then from there you spin the drone anti-clockwise 3 revolutions. The back and the rear LEDs will illuminate, and then you hit it up on end again, and you move it anti-clockwise 3 full revolutions, and the light at the front will illuminate. Gyroscope calibration is down to the bottom right, down here, for both analog sticks, and then that's it. Then you are up and ready to go. So then you unlock the motors, and then you can go up, and that's it. Headless mode, orbit mode. So when you're in orbit mode, as it says here, you can move the analog stick clockwise and anti-clockwise to increase the speed of the anti-clockwise orbit. So all in all, that's quite nice. your apps, iOS and Android, I recommend you get that, and then it also shows you how to use it. This particular app looks like the SJRC app, so I hope that's going to be the same, because that app is actually pretty good. I quite like that. And then it just goes into the settings menu and a couple of other things about the app. Quite a lot of app information in there, which is quite nice. You don't normally get all that. And then the follow me mode, how that works, orbit, flight, as well as troubleshooting there as well. So a really, really good manual. So this is everything that you get in the package, which is the full shebang. There we are, my friends. Well, thank you ever so much for watching and listening this flight test and unboxing medley. I've been JD. You've been fantastic as always. If you haven't already, please like and subscribe. Hello and welcome to all the new subscribers. I hope you're enjoying the channel. So until next time, my friends, happy flying.